Good evening and welcome to the final City Council meeting of the year at this December 29th, 2023. The time is 7:30 and this meeting is hereby called to order. Please rise and join me to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
McHale.
Here.
Budmetz.
Present.
O'Brien.
Here.
Veneziano.
Here.
Boucher.
Here.
Reyes is absent. Kohler.
Present.
With 6 present and 1 absent, there is a quorum. The first order of business is to approve minutes from 2 previous meetings. The first is the November 21st, 2023 Committee of the Whole. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? Thank you, Alderman Budmetz for the first and Alderman O'Brien for the second. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to those minutes? Seeing none, the question is, shall the minutes be approved? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, and those meeting minutes are approved. The second item that we have for our meeting minutes is the November 28th, 2023 City Council meeting. Looking for a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
I had Alderman Boucher for the first and Alderman McHale for the second. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes? All right, seeing none, the question is, shall the minutes be approved? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, and those meeting minutes are approved. For the mayor's report this evening, quite quick, I just want to say on behalf of the council that I would like to sincerely thank our city staff, all of our committee and task force volunteers, the residents, businesses, and visitors to the city of Rolling Meadows for their contributions this past year, their hard work, their sacrifices. And I do wish everyone in the city of Rolling Meadows a very happy and prosperous new year in 2024. It's been excellent working with everyone, and I really look forward to everything that we have planned for the coming year and the coming years. And just as a reminder, starting in January, the City Council will be meeting at 7 p.m. as opposed to 7:30 p.m. in council chambers moving forward. If you have any questions regarding the schedule, you can look at the agenda online at cityrm.org. With that, are there any ward reports this evening? Okay. Seeing none, this is when we would move to the open the meeting to the public for 20 minutes. We do have 2 signatories on the sign-in sheet. However, both individuals identified themselves as the business representatives for item A in the agenda and item E, respectively. So if any council members have questions or comments regarding those items, we do have the business representatives available at that time for question and comment. At this time, we will move on to item A, which is ordinance number 23-75, which is to amend the alcohol liquor code to increase the number of liquor licenses permitted under the Class A1 liquor license. This is for Cafe on the Grove, LLC, located at 2160 Plum Grove Road, in for second reading. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance? Thank you, Alderman Budmetz for the first and Alderman O'Brien for the second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Budmetz.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes. With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. Item B, ordinance number 23-76, is to adopt salary increases for certain employees of the City of Rolling Meadows not subject to collective bargaining, in for second reading. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale for the first and Alderman O'Brien for the second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
McHale.
Yes.
Budmetz.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. Item C, ordinance number 23-77, is to update the city's solid waste regulations and commence a study of commercial recycling, in for second reading. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien for the first and Alderman Kohler for the second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Budmetz.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes. With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. So this is typically where we would move on to our consent agenda. However, all of the items, for all of the ordinances in the consent agenda, there has been a request to waive first reading. And for that reason, we will take each item individually, starting with item D, which is ordinance number 23-78 to repeal various ordinances and amend the Rolling Meadows City Code related to personnel regulations covered by the city's updated employee manual, and there is a request to waive first reading. So is there a motion to waive first reading? Thank you, Alderman Budmats for the first and Alderman McHale for the second. Is there any discussion regarding the waiver of first reading? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be moved forward for second reading? Will the clerk please call the roll?
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Budmats.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance will be moved forward for second reading, which will commence immediately. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Boucher for the first, and Alderman McHale for the second. Is there any discussion regarding the approval of the ordinance? Yes, Alderman O'Brien.
I'm just going to say I was glad to see it was pulled first. I am not in support of this based on my concerns raised last week at the Committee of the Whole, so I will be a no vote on this one.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Budmats.
Yes.
O'Brien.
No.
With 5 in favor and 1 opposed, this ordinance is adopted. Moving on to item C, ordinance number 23. I'm so sorry. Moving on to item E, ordinance number 23-79 is to grant a special use for an indoor athletic facility at 2180 Plum Grove Road, Ex Capoeira, and this is also having a request for a waiver of first reading. So the question is, shall this ordinance be moved forward for second reading this evening? Is there a motion? Thank you, Alderman Budmats for the first, Alderman O'Brien for the second. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, the question is, shall this ordinance be moved forward for second reading? I'm sorry, will the clerk please call the roll?
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Budmats.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance moves forward for second reading, which is right now and immediately. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Budmats for the first and Alderman O'Brien for the second. Any discussion regarding the approval of the ordinance? Yes, Alderman Kohler.
Since a representative of the business is here, I would like to provide him an opportunity to tell us about his new business he's bringing to Rolling Meadows.
The business that I'm operating is a Capoeira school. Capoeira is an Afro-Brazilian martial art that was created by the enslaved Africans that were brought to Brazil by Portuguese during colonization. They disguised their martial art as a fighting style, as a dance. So there's aspects of dance, acrobatics, culture, history, language. You speak the Portuguese language. There's song, there's music, there's dance. We do kids, adults. The youngest student is 2.5. Well, soon enough. 2.5. Oldest is 70 years old. I have an academy in the city at the moment. I live closer out here, so we're trying to expand and bring it. And there is no capoeira schools anywhere in the northwest suburbs, so I thought it was a good opportunity and a great location to bring it here.
Thank you.
Oh, what do you got? I'm with the band. Are there any other comments or any discussion? Okay. Then the question is, shall the ordinance be approved? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Budmats.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. Thank you. Moving on to item F, ordinance number 23-80 to extend the grace period for 2024 business license renewals. And again, there's a request for a waiver of first reading. So the question first, is there a motion to waive first reading this evening?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale for the first and Alderman Budmats for the second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be moved forward for second reading? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Budmats.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and unopposed, the ordinance is moved forward for second reading. And again, before the council this evening, is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Boucher for the first.
Second.
And Alderman O'Brien for the second. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
McHale.
Yes.
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is adopted. For item G, ordinance number 23-81, to approve establishing and assessing a connection charge for Phase 2 of the Sunset Brookview sanitary sewer improvements. Again, a request for waiver of first reading. Is there a motion to waive first reading?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale for the first.
Second.
And Alderman Boucher for the second. Any discussion regarding the waiver of first reading? Seeing none, well, the question is, shall the ordinance be moved forward for second reading? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes. With 6 in favor, none opposed, the ordinance is moved forward for second reading. Again, is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Boucher for the first,
Second.
and thank you, Alderman McHale for the second. Any discussion regarding the approval of this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Bud Matts.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and unopposed, this ordinance is adopted. Moving on to new business, we have item H, which is a motion to approve our payment of bills on warrant for December 19th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve the bill on warrant?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale for the
Second.
first and Alderman O'Brien for the second. Any discussion regarding our payment? Okay. Then the question is, shall the warrant be approved? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, the warrant is approved. Next item is our consent resolutions, which consist of 12 items, items I through T. Does any alderperson wish to remove any item from the consent agenda for resolution? Yes, Alderman Kohler.
I'd like to remove item R, S, and T.
Any others? Okay. Seeing none, then the chair declares it in order for one motion to consider the 9 resolutions in one motion without debate. Is there such a motion? Thank you, Alderman McHale for the first and Alderman O'Brien for the second. The items before us are items I, resolution number 23-R-140, to approve the purchase of Laserfiche document management software through TKB Associates. Item J, resolution number 23-R-141, to authorize the purchase of up to 1,200 tons of snow ice control rolled salt from Compass Minerals America Incorporated for winter 2023-2024 season through Illinois CMS in a not to exceed amount of $94,848.00. Item K, resolution number 23-R-142, to authorize the purchase of de-icing materials from Crystal Vision Incorporated for the 2023-2024 winter season in a not to exceed amount of $34,980. Item L, resolution number 23-R-143, to award the annual contract for traffic signal maintenance and annual emergency vehicle preemption inspections to Mead Electric for fiscal year 2024 in an amount not to exceed $28,999.60. Item M, resolution number 23-R-144, to award a contract for forestry maintenance services in fiscal year 2024 to R.W. Hendrickson in a not to exceed amount of $70,850.00. Item N, resolution number 23-R-145, to award a contract for city audit services. Item O, resolution number 23-R-146, to award a contract for city actuarial services. Item P, resolution number 23-R-147, to authorize the extension of the city's fuel purchase contract with Reladane through December 31st, 2024. Item Q, resolution number 23-R-148, to approve a professional services agreement with Hampton, Lanzini, and Renwick Incorporated, 2024 building official and permit review services. The question is, shall the 9 resolutions be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, those resolutions are adopted. This brings us back to item R, which is resolution number 23-R-149 to adopt the city's 2023 sustainability plan. I need a motion to consider this for the floor.
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman McHale, for the first.
Second.
And thank you, Alderman Boucher, for the second. Alderman Kohler, you had pulled this, so you have first comment.
Yeah, I asked to pull this because I think it's a very important plan, and I didn't want it just lumped in with all the other resolutions that are out there. On behalf of the Environmental Committee, which I chair, they've worked for a long time on this plan and are presenting it with a recommendation for approval to the council. I'd like to acknowledge specifically Assistant Manager Cole for his efforts in pulling this all together with us. He works with us over the year on this, and City Manager also helped us with this, so thank you for that. I also want to point out that we got very good press on this in the Daily Herald about a week or two ago on this. And the most enlightening comment, I think, came from the executive director, or the director of the Environmental Initiatives, Edith Makra, from the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, who said that to adopt this framework that we did is a big lift for any community. Someone has to pull it together, someone has to write it up, someone has to some member of the staff has to agree that it's going to be part of their work to execute on it. And if you're lucky enough to have a plan, and somebody who's going to do the heavy lifting, we're very lucky. And so she applauds our community for that. And I just wanted to put that in the record and say that our assistant manager is going to be the one who's going to do the heavy lifting, hopefully, in getting this executed, because it includes the entire city effort on that. And with that, I'm going to recommend its approval.
Thank you very much. Any other comments regarding this item? Okay. Yes, go ahead. Assistant City Manager Glenn Cole.
Madam Mayor, I would just add to Alderman Kohler's excellent description. There are very many people in city staff who participated in the preparation of this plan, in addition to Mr. Sabla and myself. Members of our Public Works team were instrumental before I joined the city. Madam Mayor, I know you personally were involved in the drafting of this plan as part of the Environmental Committee, as was Alderman Kohler. I think both of you and others are recognized in the thanks to this plan. Finally, and by way of introduction, I also briefly wanted to recognize the city's community development graduate intern, Robert Savage. So he joined towards the tail end of this process, but really contributed a lot in those last few weeks. He's done a lot of the design you've seen on this document, as well as the next item on the council's agenda. But again, I would echo Alderman Kohler's comments. This is a large accomplishment for the city. Certainly pleased to have been a part of it.
Thank you very much, and well done. Glad to have you. Okay. Any other comments? All right. Seeing none, the question is, shall the resolution be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes. With 6 in favor and none opposed, this resolution is adopted. Moving on to item S, resolution number 23-R-150 to adopt the city's 2023 Business Development Strategic Plan. I need a motion to consider this in a second.
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman O'Brien, for the first.
Second.
And thank you, Alderman McHale, for the second. Again, Alderman Kohler, you had pulled this, so you have the first comment.
Again, the same point on this one is this was a big plan, and I commend those who are on the team that put it together, including two of our aldermen and our business development part of the city staff. I especially appreciate the fact that since last week's meeting, they took the time to incorporate our comments in there and make some changes to it. So I commend them for that and say that I, of course, will be very enthusiastic to support this.
Thank you very much, Alderman Kohler. And also a thank you to the Business Development Manager, Martha Corner, who couldn't be with us this evening, but had also really spearheaded the project. Any other comments or questions from the council regarding this item? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the resolution be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes. With 6 in favor and none opposed, this resolution is adopted. And then lastly, item T, resolution number 23-R-151 to adopt the city's 2023 personnel manual. Is there a motion to consider this for the floor? Thank you, Alderman Kohler, for the first.
Second.
And Alderman O'Brien for the second. Again, Alderman Kohler, you had pulled this, so you have first comment.
Again, I pulled this one because I think it's a very important document that we should all go on record as approving as a separate item. But I also would like to recommend, first of all, I appreciate the changes that were made to it since our meeting we had last week. Appreciate the changes that were suggested being incorporated into there. I would like to recommend also for this one, if it's adopted, that the mayor and city manager write a letter to Cook County Commissioner Scott Britton and Cook County Commissioner Maggie Trevor, recognizing the fact that we incorporated into our employee manual a statement addressing the Cook County United Against Hate principles in that. That's my recommendation.
Duly noted. Okay. Any other comments or discussion for this item? Okay. Seeing none, the question is, shall the resolution be adopted? Will the clerk please call the roll?
McHale.
Yes.
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
No.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
With 5 in favor and 1 opposed, the resolution is adopted. This brings us to mayoral appointments, which we have none this evening, but we do have one proclamation, and this is in relation to the sustainability plan that the council just adopted, and it is the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. And I know it's December, so it's hard to think of flowers and butterflies in this very moment, but spring will be here, and so will summer, and the beautiful fall. So with that, whereas the monarch butterfly is an iconic North American species whose multi-generational migration and metamorphosis from caterpillar to butterfly has captured the imagination of millions of Americans, and whereas the number of migrating eastern monarch butterflies has declined dramatically over the last 3 decades, and whereas cities, towns, and counties, including the city of Rolling Meadows, have a critical role to play to help save the monarch butterfly. And whereas this year, the city of Rolling Meadows has taken the National Wildlife Federation's Mayor's Monarch Pledge to demonstrate the city's commitment to creating a habitat and educating citizens about how they can make a difference at home. And whereas every resident of the city of Rolling Meadows can make a difference for the monarch by planting native milkweed and nectar plants to provide habitat for the monarch and pollinators in locations where people live, work, learn, and play. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Lara Sonoyka, Mayor of the City of Rolling Meadows, do hereby encourage residents and businesses throughout the city to take steps to increase the planting of milkweed and nectar plants in order to preserve and strengthen the monarch butterfly population. Given under my hand and seal of the City of Rolling Meadows, Illinois, this 19th day of December, 2023. And at this time, I will present the pledge to Alderman Kohler, who is our chair of the Environmental Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Now take off one more item on our.
Is there a clerk report?
No.
No clerk report this
tonight.
evening, and then this will then bring us to city staff reports. And as a reminder, there is no discussion during city staff reports. We'll begin with our community items of interest, and to that I will defer to City Manager Rob Sabo.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, good evening. Consider giving blood this Thursday, December 21st at the Vitalant Bloodmobile, a mobile unit that will be parked at City Hall from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at 3600 Kirchhoff Road. Appointments are recommended and donors can register at vitalant.org, that's VITALANT.org, or by calling 877-258-4825. City Hall and Public Works will be closed this Friday, December 22nd, and Monday, December 25th, in observance of Christmas Eve and Day, and on Monday, January 1st, in observance of the New Year's Day holiday. The early refuse and recycling schedule will take place for these holiday weeks, so please have all refuse set out no later than 6 a.m. on your scheduled pickup day. On behalf of the City of Rolling Meadows staff, we wish everyone a very safe and happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have the November 2023 new business report, and for that we request that Council look at the agenda packet, which is available at cityrm.org. Our last item is January 9th, 2024 City Council draft agenda. And again, I will defer to City Manager Rob Sabo.
Thank you, Mayor. And once again, to remind everyone, as the Mayor said earlier, this January 9th meeting is scheduled for a 7 p.m. start here at City Hall. Currently, the draft agenda includes one item, which is an approval for an evaluation and design for a roof replacement here at City Hall. The draft agenda is included in the agenda packet and is subject to change and will be posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act prior to this meeting date. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any matters that are not on the agenda this evening that the council would wish to discuss? Okay. Seeing none, I do have a request to go into closed session, and this is regarding Section 2C6 of the Open Meetings Act regarding setting price for sale or lease of property. Do I have a motion to enter closed session?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Boucher for the first and Alderman O'Brien for the second. Is there any discussion regarding going into closed session? Okay, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Bud Matts.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Veneziano.
Yes.
Boucher.
Yes.
Kohler.
Yes.
McHale.
Yes.
With 6 in favor and none opposed, we will now enter into closed session. The audience and press are advised that we do not anticipate taking any action upon returning to open session. Thank you.